just sit there, bask in the euphoria.
Thank you so much, Canadian Film Festival!
Hi everybody, I'm Bern Euler. I'm here to host a Q&A with my lovely co-host Ashley Rains. Before we get started, I do want to acknowledge and just reiterate something that we put on social media today, is that the Canadian Film Fest stands in solidarity with our BIPOC friends and colleagues in our commitment to anti-racism, and we do promise to continue to do our part to ensure we lift up BIPOC voices both within our organization and in the stories that we spotlight. We believe Canada doesn't have one voice. We have many voices, and we want to hear them all, and we want to continue to offer our platform to all Canadians to tell these important stories. And we're even going to take time this week and after the festival to reflect and discuss of what more we can do, because we can and we will, and we want to and we need to, and you have my word on that. That said, I would like to start the Q&A of these two fantastic movies in Chubby. We'll start with Chubby because we have the Chubby cast and crew here. We've got Madeline and Dusty, the filmmakers, and we also have Maya, the actor, in Chubby. So everybody, welcome to the Q&A at the Canadian Film Fest.
Hi everyone. Why don't we start with everyone introducing themselves too, and your roles in the short.
Yes.
Maya, do you want to lead?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Sure. I'm Maya Harmon, and I play June in Chubby.
Great.
I'm Madeline, and I am one half of the director, writer, producer.
And I'm Dusty. I'm the other half. And so we are the writer-directors of Chubby.
It's very, very nice to have you guys back and to see you back at the CFF. To everybody out there, Dusty and Madeline have had other movies together and separate in the festival in years past, and every single one has been outstanding. And Chubby is absolutely no exception to that. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal movie, just in the way you take on the subject matter, the look of it, how you directed the actors, incredible. Now, with that in mind, the heaviness of the topic, how did you approach that? You guys were able to make a very, very heavy movie, and there was nothing graphic. But
and I'd love to add on to that. I was talking to Marcia Bennett, who plays the grandmother in the film, and this was way back in the screening process, and I was complimenting her work in the short, and she said, "Oh, thank you for saying that. I haven't seen it, and I wasn't entirely sure how it was unfolding on the day, but she felt so trusted and safe on your set and with you as directors." So to add on to Bern's question, what was that process? How did you approach that with your actors, creating that trust and pulling those performances and that story?
Yeah, I think a really important part for us is creating a safe environment where we can have really open, candid conversations about what our intentions are as filmmakers and why we want to tell this story, why it's important to us, and how we plan on telling it as well. I think it's really important as filmmakers to share the creative vision and the kind of technical aspects of the filmmaking process with actors, so they have a clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and so much of our process as well with directing actors comes from a place of using a lot of improv and allowing, as well as working with the script, but really allowing the actors to be themselves. And I think getting people to a place where they feel comfortable is really integral to the way that we work. Otherwise, we're not going to find those special moments. Like, so much of Maya's performance was her, and just finding those incredibly candid, natural moments. So yeah.
Yeah, I think
Maya. Oh, sorry, go Dusty.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I think it's really important to make an actor feel really safe in taking risks. And Maya was just incredible on set, I think once she realized that she could do nothing that was wrong,
Yeah.
then she felt really comfortable just saying anything and really kind of there's this candid spontaneity that we really couldn't have scripted, that we captured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's what I was going to throw over to you, Maya. You half answered that, but then Maya, how, with that process that we were just talking about now, how much of it then of what you said was scripted versus what you improvised? And how did you pull an improvisation like that? That was just incredible.
Well, I don't know. For me, it was really easy to get to know my character because I do relate a lot to my character in most ways, that she's just like, she's full of herself. Like, she loves being with her family, like, or at least from what I think, she likes being with her family, and she wants to impress her big brother a lot, and I like to impress people a lot too. So I think it was really easy for me to like get a grip of what my character would be like, and I think a good chunk of it was improvised. But yeah, I think the bit of improvisation like added to the movie and like helped like tell the story.
It certainly did, and the look of it too. How?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Dusty. Just that it looked so beautiful. So how did you guys decide on the look? Because it added so much to the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our cinematographer Adam is just really talented and incredible. I think what we were really striving for was a sense of realism and natural.
And just kind of like a flow with, we were thinking about the visuals, and we had lots of conversations with Adam about it. But we wanted sort of the acting and the visuals to inform each other in a way where it's like both feel natural and improvised.
And really, Adam was almost a character in the film, in that often the movement of the camera was meant to create a kinetic energy that complemented, like Madeline says, the palpable tension that we feel in these scenes with Jude and her brother. And so for that reason, it was a bit of a choreography between Adam and the actors as he moves around them and tries to really feel that energy and translate it visually for the audience.
And that, on that note, that last shot that you had of Maya's character in the bathroom after the command of sit down, it was just beautiful and stunning, and you knew everything you need to know about the character and what happened in the story right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. To Bern's point, you said, or he mentioned that you have come to, through the CFF, 5 years now? Is that, I think every year we've seen you. And Bern and I always say, when are you going to make a feature? And then someone told us, you guys made a feature.
Yeah, we were really lucky. We got financing through Telefilm's inaugural Talent to Watch program. So it's for emerging first-time feature filmmakers. And so last summer, we shot our first feature for 3 months in Quebec in the mountains. And we've been in post for a very long time. Working on it. We're still working on it, but we're really excited about that, and we're hoping it's going to be ready sometime soon.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah, I think it's sort of taking Chubby to sort of the next level, I guess. It's exploring a sister who comes back to her hometown to see her sister she's not seen in a really long time, and she experiences a really intense betrayal, and the film explores her vengeance and revenge that she kind of goes on. So,
I'm petrified. I'm scared to see it.
But Jesse, who's in Slap Happy and in Chubby, he plays the older brother in Chubby. He's also in.
Yeah, he's the lead in it as well. As well, Madeline is the lead in the feature, so she plays the main character in it.
Cool. Yeah. And then Maya, was this your first acting gig?
Yes, it's my very, very first acting gig. It was very, very exciting as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're so good in that I talked to one very seasoned actor, and she saw you perform, and she was mad. She's like, I've worked my whole life, and this Maya person just comes out and like Oscar-worthy, Canadian Screen Award-worthy performance on her first try. It was hilarious. It was all good stuff, obviously. But yeah, well, that's crazy. How did you land this as a first gig?
We auditioned hundreds of young actors,
Yeah.
and then ultimately we weren't really happy with anyone we saw, and we put out some calls to some different performing arts centers and acting schools. And Maya's mom put together a little like video reel for
Yeah,
us.
because you were in Montenegro, right?
Yeah.
At the time, and we just saw your picture from Armstrong, and we're like, oh, this girl looks great. She's just got a great, like, it was just your picture looked so much like me when I was a girl.
Yeah.
So I just suddenly immediately was drawn to it. And Maya's mom put together a tape for us. And also Maya on the tape expressed how much she related to the character, which was, I think, no one had done that. No one had said, look, this character is me. I really understand her.
But really, it was the blooper reel. Her mom included all the outtakes, and it was in the outtakes that we realized, oh, this is, if we could get this natural like, quality,
goofy,
just like, playful, like really like carefree personality, that we knew the film would work quite well. So that's really what did it. So you got to thank your mom there, Maya.
That's funny, because it seems to me that would be, and I mean this in the nicest way, because this is where I'm going, in a nice big compliment for your mom, Maya, but that's like almost like an amateur move to put bloopers on the reel, but it's exactly what was needed.
She knew. She saw something in it. And then we did rehearsal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were in Montenegro for a month?
Yeah, we just did Skype rehearsals.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but I guess not so weird anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we'd have long, like, several hour kind of Skype rehearsals where we got to kind of go through the script and talk about the
And Maya would be like, I can't say this line because my grandma's in the other room.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Maya, are you going to be looking for more roles, or have you got more roles since then? What's next for you?
I don't know, just whatever like comes. I'm open for anything. Like, I love everything. I love comedy, I love drama, and I do like hope to continue doing this, just like having fun and doing what makes me happy. And just,
do you have an agent, Maya?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're being so modest. So like right after the movie premiered, Maya got an agent really quickly. It felt like.
I bet.
Yeah.
So, okay.
She's definitely onto destined for fame.
For sure.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, to everybody here, thank you so much for being part of our lineup this year. We're both so happy to be able to program one of your movies again, let alone this amazing movie that we saw tonight. So thank you so much, guys.
You guys have been so supportive of our work. We really appreciate it.
We
and also,
love CFF.
This is such a challenging film, and I think it's really important that you guys have programmed it and really giving it a platform for people to see and really talk about it, because we really think it's important to have these conversations. So thank you.
Well, we're absolutely honored, so you're very welcome. Okay, so then we're gonna say goodbye to these amazing filmmakers, but everybody out there, stick around. We're gonna be right back with the cast and crew from our feature movie, Hazy Little Thing. So until then, Chubby, cast and crew, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you guys soon.
Take
We
care.
will see you soon, yeah.
We're back. We're back with the cast and crew from our feature movie, Hazy Little Thing. Sam, Kat, Jay, Aaron, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you because you guys, well, Sam and Aaron, sorry, Kat, did you cut
Dark
Dar-
Side. We changed the name.
No,
oh, you did?
Dark Side.
Yeah, Dark Side.
Dark Side.
Yes, I did. I cut that one. Yes.
That's right. Just for a moment, I thought my memory was going to fail me again, but yeah, that was a short that these fine feet. Sorry, Jade, were you weren't in part of that production?
I was not involved
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Dark Side, no.
Okay, good, but I'm glad to have you back.
We did Dark Side last year.
Yeah.
It was last year. So now you're back at the festival 1 year later with a feature.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exactly. That kind of like stimulated Aaron and I's working relationship, and we leveraged off of that, and there was a big connection, and we're like, okay, so what are we going to do next? And then here we are.
And this is I mean this in the like most loving and supportive way. This is a low budget feature that you guys
Oh yeah.
really, it looks like you took the initiative and you went out and you shot this like amazing film. What was your process? How did you get it together?
Blood,
Who
sweat, and
wants-
tears, I think.
Don't
Jenny?
think-
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of strong coffee.
Yeah.
Well,
I think,
was it like a weekend shoot? No, it must have been like at least a couple of weeks, right?
yeah, it was 14 days.
Yeah, okay.
But Aaron and I just had been speaking at where we are in our careers at the time, and we had a hard time kind of breaking into a lot of the financing within Canada. And so this is our credit card film ultimately. So this is where we took matters into our own hands and said, how can we make something at the lowest cost and with the highest quality of acting and stuff?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those dream situations where we know a lot of amazing people. We have a lot of amazing places to shoot, and we had a lot of amazing resources, and there was some stuff that came out of our pockets. Like Sam said, it was a credit card film, but like we had like such an amazing pool of people to pull from, and that's absolutely how this came together for sure.
And I love those stories. This is one of my favorite kinds of movies. Like the way you made it when I program these is, some, like, let's say somebody gives you a house or you have a location. Any filmmaker has a location that, they can do a whole movie in, and somehow, I mean, it sounds simple, but obviously it's not. Somehow you get it together, you get it done, and then it's not a movie for the sake of being a movie. It's a really engrossing movie with amazing characters and plot and arcs, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah, Jay, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So with that, then Jay, how do you work with Sam and everybody to make the look of it be part of the story, like even a character almost? Like how do you approach that relationship?
I mean, a lot of that was talks with Sam, and she had such a clear vision for what she wanted the aesthetic to be for the movie. And so it was just like lots of meetings talking about it. And then we got to the house in Arizona before the cast did. And so it was a couple of days of like walking through everything and talking through the shots and the storyboard and that sort of thing. And just figuring out, with the resources that we had, because we had a very small crew and lighting package and gear package, just figuring out how we can utilize that to make it the most beautiful. And the set definitely helped. Like the house was so stunning that it was just finding the ways to utilize that and make that another character in the film. Sam had never set foot in this house before we shot this film. I have to say that. It was just like, it was off videos and photos.
And I shot listed the whole thing just based on like videos and
kind of unreal
images from it. So it was great. But also I just like to anybody who's listening out there that we had 6 people on crew and 5 people in cast. So literally the way it looks is up to Jay and Cheska, who was on lighting. So there was like 2 people actually manning the image, which is stellar because any films and anything that you see is it's never manned by two individuals. So it was pretty
Wow.
incredible. I was very, very fortunate to work with incredibly talented people.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, all of it. You guys have to be impressed with yourselves, I hope. I know that's an un-Canadian thing, but you really should. That's so great. So, Jay, have you worked with anybody here before?
Yes, Sam and I had done a few, very little in comparison, projects beforehand, and same with Aaron. And it kind of was a conversation about them not feeling like they had the opportunities that they wanted. And I was like, I feel like I'm in the same place in terms of my career. And so I have my own camera and lenses. So what can we do with that for very little money? And this is the result.
Yeah, it truly was the most self-propelled project I've ever been a part of, for sure.
Wow. Well, then considering that, I mean, obviously resources are tight, although you can't tell on screen, and shooting days are tight. Then, Kat, how much, considering that, like, how much footage then, and how many like takes per everything do you end up with? Because I've been on, as a former editor myself, I've been on shoots like features where I have at the most 3 takes.
Yeah.
Right. So how was that with you?
It varied scene to scene. I think based off of obviously what coverage needs to happen, and if the bigger scenes need more, and if there's more people in one scene, then it needs more coverage. But 14 days for a feature film is not a lot. So the footage, it, in comparison to other features that I've worked on, it was a lot less footage, but Sam and Jay were super deliberate with what they were getting, and it's such an amazing thing when you work with a director who really, like she said, she shot listed everything and she had a vision, but then there are these amazing actors, so it also felt like there was enough space all the time where the actors had to play like it was a really nice, not overshot situation.
Well, you can certainly tell there's a lot of very smart and creative choices in the directing, Sam. Congratulations. And I love what you're saying about the importance of lifting each other up and advancing your careers, and how collaboration works. So in the spirit of collaboration, are you working on anything else together? Are you supporting each other's projects in other ways? What does your team look like now?
I think we're always in communication. I think right now during COVID is a very weird time.
I know, right? Like,
yeah, that's definitely a complex question currently, but
Aaron and Jay are working on a project together currently, and I will always work with Kat at all opportunities and her team. She has amazing assistants also. I want to give a big shout out to her assistants because they're phenomenal. And I mean, Jay and I always want to shoot just like random. We're kind of those people who just like, it's hard because film is you need so much money to make film, but then we're just creators and want to do wild creative things. So Jay and I are always talking about just shooting stuff. So there's a lot of projects in the go on that way. So, I mean, you guys can talk about your project together.
Yeah.
Go, Aaron, go.
Oh boy, here we go. No, Jay and I are working on it. We've been working on a television show for a bit now that we're in the development for, which is really fun. But TV's a whole other bag of beans. Is that what people say? I don't know. Is that,
they should. If they don't, they should say it. Yeah.
They don't, they do now. But
mark your calendars. Aaron coined that term here.
Yeah, that's tonight. You guys know it now. That did that.
Well, and what about and this is actually a question from out in internet land, how the animation process. Now, considering you've got a tight budget and this is a credit card film, which nobody should do, by the way. That's really risky. You guys killed it here. This is
We're
awesome.
not
but-
condoning this
Right.
behavior.
Kids, don't steal your parents' credit but how did you approach then the animation aspect? Like, did somebody owe you some favors?
So I recommend being born in a womb with some. I'm a twin, and my brother is extraordinarily talented, and he works in graphic design, VFX, animation, and he's an editor and visual painter, and he does many, many things. So I was very fortunate, and I think I've worn out that hard after this film, I will say. But yeah, I think, again, to the point of having no money, but using your resources well and using the people that you know and stuff. But my twin brother, Nick Coyle, did the animation. So I always knew that
It looked badass. It was so cool. And it added so much to the movie, like so much production value, just even in that.
That's great. Yeah, I know that, Kat, you spoke about the first time you read the script and you're like, I've never seen an indie with this budget use
this.
I'll do it because I want to see how this turns out.
I was so
We shall see.
I was so excited about the VFX because you don't get to work exactly like that on these projects, but he did such an incredible job.
Yeah, and it was so fun to build with him, I think, as well. And like as a director, having an idea, you think things and then you express them to somebody and then they do it for you, and it's that type of collaboration is completely different because their interpretation of what you're saying ends up becoming something else, so that was a really fun process.
Wow.
And then I admire the work of two of your cast members. I'm going to say Dale and Supinder. I'd love to shout them out. Can you talk to us, Sam, about your casting process, and Aaron, if you were involved in that as well? How did you get?
Oh boy, I think Sam gets that one. I mean, we'd originally written the script for some pretty specific people, but Sam is like fully got these amazing people on board for this piece.
Yeah, I mean, Dale is a very close friend of mine, and that character was written specifically for her, and a lot of her life experiences woven into that character. So she luckily was always on board kind of at day one. Even if she wasn't available, that character was influenced by her and her real life experience. And then Supinder is just a very, very close friend of ours and mine. I was roommates with her for a couple of years and still one of my best friends. And she's just incredibly talented. So we were just very fortunate. I want to give a shout out to, we started writing this originally, again, as a credit card film with other friends in mind. And we did shoot in the States, and it's very difficult to cross borders sometimes as Canadians. So unfortunately, we weren't able to shoot with them. So we had to recast certain roles. But Supinder came in and ended up being a brilliant pairing for that role. So we were very, very fortunate.
That's awesome. And Aaron, I'm just going to shoot something out to you because somebody was asking in internet land. Did people say internet land? I coined something too, Aaron?
No, you coined it.
Mega beans in internet land. Here we go.
Mega beans. Here we go.
This is for Aaron. Aaron, how is it balancing writer, producer, actor hats all at once?
I don't recommend it.
Also, this person says, so tough, but you are flawless.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh wow. That's truly affected me more than I thought it would. That's delightful. But in total sincerity, quite difficult. I have the last feature I did, I was an executive producer on, and although I was a huge part of sort of like the story and pulling the team together and everything about the film, I wasn't like really producing it. And this one was a little different, and I would not recommend trying to get a deal memo signed and then you know, setting up set deck and then figuring out what your costume is and then putting your makeup on and then trying to get into character. But we did it.
Yeah.
And that is truly,
Easy.
truly how we did this film. And honestly, why I watch it. And like, it makes me quite emotional to talk about, because it was one of those things where it was just, I watch it and we're in every single part of it. And there were a lot of people who helped us create such a fabulous thing, but like it feels really cool to like be like, oh my God, we made it. But at the time it was difficult for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Just an amazing, just
And
amazing.
yet
So
now you have an amazing experience and all these skills and tools to use when you guys make your next project.
Would not trade it for the world. Let me tell whoever asked that question that. But like,
if I can chime in on that though, it's like I've worked with a lot of actors, producers who are like actors producing their own work and stuff like that throughout my development of my career. And working with Erin is she does not show stress. And so it was her and I in Arizona as the main producers dealing, and we were the art directors and wardrobe and set deck and blah, blah, blah. And she did not let that transfer into her work, which was a beautiful, beautiful thing to work with. And I didn't have to manage her dealing with that. She just did, and she performed in it. Yeah. So I'm very, very grateful for that. It was
and in the edits too, because that's the thing about a writer, producer, actor in an edit suite. Sometimes they're like, oh, is that the actor in them giving that note? Is it the producer in them giving that note? Is the writer in giving that note? But I never really had to ask, because I felt like you knew those roles and those sides of yourself. And but just it kind of all was one in some ways, and always what was best for the story. And I think that comes down to the writer, you know, because everything goes back to the story that we're making.
It ain't easy, but I do think that's the thing that as an actor, I've sort of, as someone who produces a lot of their own work, I've sort of come to a space where I think you just have to be able to watch your work a little bit objectively, at least a little bit, because I agree with Kat, is like, it just comes back to the story. You can't really be like, God, that take was so good, but like, if it doesn't compute or it doesn't fit or it doesn't do what you need it to do, then it's useless. Truly, it could be delightful for you, but
and that's a great note for any like emerging filmmakers out there, is you have to be okay with leaving stuff on the cutting room floor, like your babies. You got to kill babies all the time, because you can't be true to because it's not about your ego, or it's not about keeping every line that you wrote in the script. It's about making an amazing movie with the footage you happen to have now. And sometimes you got to throw the script away at that point. And I've seen people not do it to the detriment of their movies. Some of the submissions we get sometimes, I'm like, oh, this would have been such a good movie if you had just cut this whole hunk out here. Nobody needs to see that. And this should be in the middle. And this is like, but you know, sometimes people go in with a mindset of, this is going to be a great movie the way I wrote it. Right? So, right, Kat, you probably have worked with some people who didn't had a hard time, and I don't even blame them with killing some babies in the edit suite.
Yeah, I think part of an editor's job is to hold the director's hand a little bit with the
diplomatic
have the funeral and like say the speech and put it in the ground and continue. But it's not always easy, and I think that it's definitely one of the most important things that you learn is there's 3 different scripts: the one that you write, the one you shoot, and the one you cut.
That is a great takeaway for anybody listening out there. Okay, well then I think it's time to bid adieu, to say goodbye, but thank you so much to all of you and to all your cast and crew that aren't here for being part of the festival this year. We're so happy to get this and to watch it. It's just a beautiful movie. And we both, Ashley and I were talking about this earlier today. We just both hope we see some more from this team, because if you could do that on credit cards and one location, I mean, somebody should just give these people money so that right?
We'll take it.
Yo, listen, we're accepting. Listen.
So thank you very much for being part of CFF
Thank
2020.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
us.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So welcome. And to the audience out there, we still have a couple days left. We've got an industry series panel tomorrow. We've got an amazing screening
Which
tomorrow
Kat
night. We've got,
speaking on?
sorry?
Kat is speaking on our panel tomorrow, post-production.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey.
That's going to be on it. Getting more in depth about editing and post and all that groovy stuff, which I love listening to and about. But then we also have 2 more screenings on Saturday and our award ceremony. Lots of cool stuff happening. So big thank you to Super Channel for helping us make this happen, and to everybody out there for watching. So thanks, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, my name is Wendy Potonsky and I'm the managing partner and owner of Retake Furniture Rentals. Retake is once again a proud supporter of the Canadian Film Festival and is working to contribute to the Canadian film and TV industry by making it an easy and sustainable place to do business. Retake understands the importance of set design and the dynamic nature of the film and TV industry, which is why we created a company to specifically support Canadian filmmakers. Retake provides sustainable short and long-term furniture rental options to meet production schedules and product needs. Our in-house upholstery services can tailor our product to meet your set design requirements and match your color schemes. We use sustainable approaches to minimize product going to landfill when you no longer need the furniture on your set. Retake can also assist you in setting up your office with sustainable alternatives to keep your team working safely as we all head back to work during this unprecedented time. Our goal is to help you create memorable sets. Stay safe, everyone, and enjoy the films and shorts at this year's Canadian Film Festival.